What is going on, my Parchment Paper pals? I hope you are doing well. This is going to be weird. I'm in a forest right now. I'm trying to do this all in one take. I don't know if people walk by, then I'm going to get awkward and not talk about this because we're going to be talking about deep things. I've never done this. I've never sat down and talked about like my mental health journey, and I feel like I wanted to for a long time, but I didn't really have a reason to. Like, nobody wants to sit here and listen to me be like, oh, like, I'm so depressed or something like that. But I feel like now I'm in a place now where I can talk about these things because I've gone through a lot of healing. I've gone through like a lot in the last few years. A lot of growth, a lot of hard things. And I want to talk about like what it all means, what, how I make sense of it. Hope you can find something in here that like makes sense, that you can relate to, and also talk about like how it connects to like music, like the music I'm making, and how that's been like a huge part of the healing journey for me, and how literally the reason I'm making music and everything behind the music is connected to how I got out of some of the dark things that I was dealing with, and still deal with sometimes, but I'm a lot better than it was before. So, okay. Intro. Wow, what an intro. There's also a lot of mosquitoes. I don't know if I'm getting eaten alive, but you know what? It's actually a really nice day. I just like listening to the birds. I hope you can hear them. I'm just going to try to sit back, relax, talk about mental health, and yeah, let's go. So, I don't know. I wrote this all down. We'll see if this is good. Okay, so I want to start, like, let's start when I was a kid. Something I didn't know about myself as a kid, and I only learned when I was 18, is that I have what's called, ADHD is what it's called now, but I was diagnosed when I was 6 years old with ADD, and they called it ADD because it wasn't hyperactive. I'm not, I don't have, for those who don't know, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD, yeah, something like that. But I'm not hyperactive. I know I seem hyperactive. I had coffee today. I'm gonna try to joke around a little bit with this. Obviously, this is like more serious stuff, but like, I still want you guys to like enjoy and not feel weird. I want you to like laugh and stuff. My next video will be funny, I promise. But yeah, I feel like this is, I don't know. Anyways, I'm overthinking it. But yeah, so I had what's called inattentive ADD, which is basically like, yeah, I can't pay attention that well. I don't have the attention span as others and kids, growing up. Like, I was always the one like zoned out and daydreaming and in my own world basically. And I never really saw it as being different. Like, I never really, sometimes I would kind of get teased a little bit, like here and there, like, oh, he's, just in his own world. He's, Braden is, just being clueless and isn't really following along with what's going on and stuff like that, just by other kids and stuff, whatever. And I just never thought anything of it. Like, I was like, I'm not too different or anything, right? And like, also, who cares? Like, straight up, I was just always in my world. I was always in my imagination, making whatever the heck I wanted, and just having a good time being a kid. So it wasn't until literally after I graduated high school, like, I always had a hard time getting things done in school. Like, I didn't know that I had ADD until after high school, but throughout high school, like, it got pretty tough. Like, I was like, when a teacher said, this assignment will take you like an hour to do, it would take me 2 hours to do. Everything just was a little bit harder for me to do, a little bit harder for me to pay attention. I never really thought of anything of it. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then going to college, it just got to a point, my first semester in college, I remember just feeling so overwhelmed, being like, wow, things are really different now from high school, right? Like, I'm not around my friends, and I'm, I don't know, just going through, like, there's just been a lot of changes since high school, obviously, and I'm having really a difficult time focusing and just getting things done, like, and feeling motivated. Obviously, I'm not here because I want to be. Nobody goes into like college. Like the first year of college is literally just learning about. It's like continued high school, just learning, whatever the science, the extended philosophy, social sciences, those kinds of things, and it's just learning about that, which is fine. It was great. I did learn stuff, but it was like I'm having a really tough time, like feeling like, and I remember I was telling my mom this like a few months in, and I'm just like I don't know why I can't concentrate. Like I just cannot find the motivation to do college. Like should I just drop out? And that's when she told me the story of actually, I do have it's a minor case, but like yeah, you have ADD, and I was like, wow, okay, well, I want to do well in college. I want to do my best, so let's get re-diagnosed and I'll get some medication for this. And that's what I did, and it was great for a while. I started really, my grades started improving, and I started really being able to concentrate, and I was like, wow, this is what normal people feel like. And that was actually, I'm getting mixed up. I actually didn't get medicated with it right away. That wasn't right away. That was, so if we're going timeline, like I graduated 2015. I went through 2016. And in the fall of 2016, I ended up getting medicated for it and taking, I don't even remember what it was called, Concerta, I think it was. And I remember just being like, this is great. It's working. I'm a smart kid now, and I can do all these things. And then I upped my dose, and I was like, wow, even better. And I realized now in hindsight, I started just pushing my limits. I was like, I'm finally proving to myself, and not even like other people, just, I don't even know what I was trying to do, but just kept upping my dose a little bit and trying to prove that I can be so smart and so efficient and so good at in college, even though I wasn't really happy. Like I didn't really want to be there. I wasn't really learning things I cared about that much, but I was just getting it done. And I kind of just operated that way. And now I'm like, looking back, like even, no, during the time I was like, wow, like I feel like a machine. I'm starting to feel like this world, this imagination, this imaginative side of me, the creative side of me, the daydreamer side of me is like being blocked by, while I was on this medication. And I was like, I can't relax, I can't unwind. Like I'd be, before college sitting on the bus, and that would be kind of my zone out time, like my just, listening to music and just letting my mind, like my mind was like my safe haven. And for the first time in my life, it wasn't. And I was like, I couldn't just stop thinking. Like being able to turn off your brain and just be like, feel and be. I couldn't do that. I was always thinking, and I was always just processing things and coming at it from like logical ways. So, wow, we're like 10 minutes in, and I'm not even like started. This will be a long video. I'm sorry. I hope this is interesting. I hope. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. So yeah, that was going on, and yeah, I started to really not like myself. I was like, my favorite thing about myself is gone. Yeah, I'm doing great right now, like with studying and stuff, but like what I really cared about, it was missing from my life. So I went into 2017, and I basically made the decision, okay, I'm gonna step off this. And no one told me that I would go through like, well, in hindsight, the only thing I can think of was it was withdrawal. But no one ever really warned me, and it didn't seem like this medication would have that effect on me. But whatever it was, coming off of it, I just started getting really, like, I get irritated. And I'm not someone that gets irritated easily. Like, started to feel like this weird anger. Like, I just felt frustrated, and I was like, I thought that I would be able to go back to my normal self? Why are things getting, not only I'm not able to concentrate anymore, but like the good stuff isn't coming back, you know? Um, and I remember there was this one time I was just so like I would have periods of just being so frustrated and like angry at myself, and yeah, and you know, I just start like just breaking down and crying and stuff, and I was like, what is going on? Um, and then that's when depression started to kind of set in, and I was feeling, uh, you know, pretty purposeless and pretty, you know, just pretty crappy. And then it was around February 2017. um, at this point, I'm still working on the album Explorer, and my gosh, that making that album at 4D Records was my safe haven during this time. Um, but I remember having all the songs written for the album, um, and then I was like, there was one song that actually didn't make the album, and I'm so glad I replaced it with this one, because the last song I wrote for it was "Change My Mind," and it came from that this breakdown period in February where I remember just being like I just lost it. I hit a wall, and I was like, I can't take anymore, and I was in my room that night. I was supposed to be studying for some sort of test the next day. I think it was it doesn't even matter. But I couldn't even study because I was just like just going through it, and I was feeling stressed out because I'm like, I can't study. I'm going, and I felt so guilty for it. But I was like, I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. And I started writing out my suicide note, and I basically spent, I don't know how many hours. I was up a lot of the night, just like basically, literally praying and asking God to end my life. And I was so serious. Like, I had thoughts about it before, but I was so serious. I was like, there's nothing, you know, I just didn't see any point. I was so, it was just really dark. And the next day I woke up and I was heading to class, and still kind of thinking that, still kind of being like, you know, I'd rather be dead right now, and those kinds of thoughts, and I don't want to do this test, and I'm going to fail it, and nothing matters. And then I was just going for a walk. I had some time before my class, and that's when, for those of you, literally, it was a BMW. Like it's talked about in the song. It was a cold February day. The roads were icy. I was on the sidewalk, and it came skidding down the hill, and I noticed it was trying to slow down, but it wasn't, and it started skidding, and it nearly rolled up on the sidewalk, and just about like hit me at like, I don't know, maybe 40 kilometers an hour. Like, I don't know if that actually would have killed me or not, but I remember it. I was watching this moment. It was so like it was in slow motion, and I was like, I take it back. um, and all of a sudden, I just snapped out of it. I was like, I want to do what it takes to find that meaning and purpose again, and I don't want to die. Like, this can't be it. I don't want this to be it. And the car skidded away, and skidded past me, and I was like, oh. So I ended up going to the cafeteria at my campus and writing that chorus and the bridge of "Change My Mind," and that was a huge turning point for me. Yeah, like that was like, I'd never, at that point, never really thought about suicide or anything before, but that was the first time I'd ever been so thinking about it and serious about it. And Yeah. So, wow. This is exciting. Anyways, so there was that. That happened. Then, fast forward a little bit. My plans for that summer. This was all 2017. And I released Explore at the end of 2017, and that was honestly the highlight of the entire year. Um, 2017 was just. I mean, I made a song about like a reflecting song on that year, but yikes. Um, that summer, I had a job lined up, a really good job in the States lined up, and I wasn't able to do that. And, my plans were falling apart, and I was still like feeling like, searching for a purpose and searching for a reason not to want to die. And every time I was finding something, it was like falling apart, and I was feeling like. And so that was a moment where I was like, wow, this job, that sucks. And then, of course, um, when I got attacked by, I shouldn't say I did, my dog got attacked by a bull terrier, and um, it caused him to break his leg, and we needed to get surgery for him, um, which the owner of the dog actually did pay for it. We wouldn't have been able to pay for it, but all of that was coming at me within a span of like a couple days, and I was just like, I'm over it. Like I'm so um like wow. I was just going through so much, and I couldn't even process any of it. I was like, um I don't even know how I processed all that stuff, but uh, I honestly don't think I did. I don't think I was. And I remember I was still working as a dishwasher, um, and I was just like, kind of just, I was just numbing myself to everything that was going on at that point. I wasn't letting myself feel anything. I was just numbing myself. And I remember, I mean, it's going to be cheesy, but like I was listening to Numb by Linkin Park, and I was like, wow, like so resonate. Like I know like every emo teen goes through that phase. I was a happy teen. So I went through this, started going through that Linkin Park phase, and I still do. I still listen to them like so often. They're actually one of my favorite bands nowadays, but like ever before this moment, I would call myself a fan. But I remember listening to Numb and a couple other songs, and a week later, heard the news of Chester Bennington committing suicide, and I was like, "You've got to be freaking kidding me!" And yeah, I was just like, well, these songs I was finding like, some sense of relatability and just connection to, and being like, if this, if what they're talking about in these songs is like so, like, if they've been through it and they've gotten through it, so can I. And then hearing that, oh, Chester couldn't get through it. That just like didn't help me. um, that really actually destabilized me a lot more than I ever expected a celebrity death would. um, and now, I mean, like I just have so much respect for the band, and Mike Shinoda, I'm a huge fan, because the music does really help. The music still is so meaningful to me, and so that was going on. That was fun, and basically just with all this stuff going on, like my body literally, like now I'm learning about how everything is connected, like spirit, a spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, everything's connected. I didn't really understand that. I didn't grow up learning, or it didn't really coincide with my beliefs at the time. I had to really deconstruct everything I believed, but realizing that yes, everything is equal. um, I placed a lot of, um, growing up in a Christian home, and being, really devoted Christian, I was like prioritizing spirituality, and realizing that I spiritualized things like my mental health, um, which caused a lot of problems, and not seeing them, as them connected. Um, and anyways, this was all to say that physically, my body started, because of all the stress and things that I'd been through in such a short span, developed really bad really bad eczema, um, and um, eventually, end of 2017, I felt like I was kind of coming out of depression a little bit, and I was kind of like um, finding, some sense of normalcy again. And going into 2018, the eczema just took control of, like, literally my body was like falling apart. Like, I could not sleep. I was getting an average of 4 hours of sleep every night for over 5 months. I couldn't sleep in my bed because, basically, if you don't know, eczema, um, I mean, there's different forms of it, but mine, it just made my skin so itchy, and I'd scratch open, and cause myself to bleed, and that caused it to be more itchy. So and that was just all over my entire body. Um, and anything could set it off. Like, could be, um, the bed sheets, like, if it just, like, anything touched me, like my legs or arms or whatever, it would just cause me to go crazy. So I could not sleep in my bed. I kid you not. I slept on the floor every night for 4 months, at the beginning of 2018, because of how bad my skin was, and I couldn't. I'd be up all night just scratching. Um, and dermatologists were hard to come by. I was trying to get help for it. Tried light therapy. My case was so bad, light therapy wasn't helping. Eventually, I got onto this, like, new injection kind of high, I don't know, like, state of the art drug. Oh my gosh, there was a squirrel. It just scared me. Um, and that helped a little bit, yes. And this is where my anxiety started. So this is where things really got fun. I started to. I'll never forget my first panic attack. I was going to one of my night classes in college, and it was in a class that it was marketing. Intro to marketing. I had no idea. I was like, I joined this class because I wanted to figure out how to be like a, promote my music and blah blah blah. Didn't learn any of that. We learned about businesses and stuff. Like, I had no idea what was going on in that class the whole time. I was just, like, hoping that the prof didn't notice me and I could just squeeze by with, like, a C+ or something, which I did. And but I was like, I remember I showed up to class one day and he jokingly said, "All right, pop quiz time," and my body just went into, like, this weird state of shock, and everyone was like, what, and yeah, he was like, I'm just kidding, and I said in my mind, okay, he's kidding, don't have a pop quiz, he's kidding. I kept saying that to myself, trying to calm myself down, but my physical body was, like, still in a state of panic, and I could not stop. Like, I felt like my heart was racing. I felt like I was going to throw up and pass out at the same time. And I tried to act, the more I tried to act like, I was normal, the more I was like, things are not okay. Everyone around me is okay but me. And it was such a destabilizing experience. If you've ever experienced a panic attack, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I got so scared, I was like, I have to find somewhere safe. I need to be safe. And I didn't. Like, 2 minutes into that class, I left and I jumped on a bus and I went home. And my parents were like, "What do you do? Why didn't you go to class?" And I was like, "I don't know." And yeah, so that was my first, like, panic, and I was like that for the rest of the night. I was like, I don't know, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's happening. I don't feel safe. I can't explain it. I think I'm having a heart attack. I might die. I don't know. So yeah, that was fun. Anxiety's a good time. And yeah, so there was that was all going on. And so then that summer I ended up going, I feel like I'm just rambling on. I don't know if anyone's still watching at this point, but um, that summer I ended up I kind of struck out on my own for a little bit. I was out for like 5 months that summer working at camps and stuff, and just getting a lot of independence and like having a lot of good times. And yeah, then I struck out on my own. I moved out and I started my social work degree, and was super great. I was like, wow, like new, so much newness. But at the same time, I was like, I had to deconstruct everything I believed. I started really doubting my faith, and like my whole worldview just changed, and started really doubting God and really having too many questions to even deal with. And that just so much change was happening, like from striking out on my own and all that going on and learning all these things and social work and loving it, but also every time I was like, wow, yes, I love it, I'm learning something, I had to it not I wasn't processing it at the same time, like emotion, like what is this for me emotionally and spiritually, and how I've been brought up, and all of that just became so overwhelming that I think that's what kind of caused me to like really go into another like uncontrollable depression. Um, and there were days where I couldn't get out of bed, and I was like, this is where I wrote Diversion, the entire mixtape of Diversion, Volume 1, and yeah, so that happened, and I was like, okay, that's it, I'm going to get help. I started talking to counselors, and I joined an anxiety group, and the biggest thing is I got on antidepressants, and I've been on them since, and that like has helped me so much, like because it was like I wanted to there is a grasshopper on my water bottle. Okay, it flew away. I wanted to like get out of this, but I literally like going through that like severe depression. I was like, I don't have the energy or like ability to even do that for myself. Like it's hard enough to like get out of bed some days. It's hard enough to even get through a day. Like I can't. So the antidepressants basically, they don't fix things, but they give you the the ability to not fall apart when you're standing in front of a cashier and she says, do you have your student card on you? And you're like, I do. And then you look and you don't, and you're like, and you start crying in front of them. Like that was what a day in the life looked like. Like it was so hard to even get through a day without breaking down. Like I felt so weak and defeated. So the antidepressants just made such a difference. Like I was able to like function a bit like normal. Yeah, so there was that. And then yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of speeding it up now because my camera's dying and I've been talking for 30 minutes. Yeah, so the anxiety self-help group, I started like being able to process everything, and the social work techniques that I was learning, like everything I was learning in my program, I was in love with. And it wasn't even just like helping with my degree, it was like helping me with me. Like I was like, yes, I need some of these like self-care things, and I need this for myself, not just like future clients or whatever. So that was good. I started making friends. I started having great experiences with my third year practicum, and I started gaining a lot of confidence. And now we're moving into last fall, which is I wasn't able to afford like a real therapist because like nobody can. But I started getting like clinical counseling and basically kind of doing the same kind of work that a therapist would do. And moving into the new year, into 2020, I was like, I'm so over everything. I just want to heal from everything that's happened. The grasshoppers, oh my gosh. Ugh, okay, I think it's gone. Yeah, so going into 2020, like I was just like, past not even 5 years, people don't even realize like this is what I've been like, how much has actually happened to me, and like how much I've been through. And I just need a breather. Like I just need some time to like feel normal, feel stable. And I was like, 2020, I just want to get my feet on the ground. I just want to get some healing, and I just want to get some space. And then when COVID-19 happened, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Like, honestly, I am in a place now where it's like the past 5 months, like, I still struggle with like depression and anxiety. Like, I still have like really severe depression and anxiety, but I've learned so much. I'm able to cope with it now. Like, I have learned so many skills through um, my anxiety self help group that I was a part of, and my through counseling, and just having people in my life who I can talk to. Um, like, without that, I don't think I would be where I am right now. But like, I know that um, you know, when you get not out of it, but like when you get to a place where like, okay, it's not as overwhelming as it was, like I'm able to start coping with what's happened, um, and heal from this. It's like so much easier, and that's where I'm at now. Like, I'm like, um, yeah, it's still hard, but like it's not like it was. I don't think about dying anymore, and I don't think about it. I don't break down and cry just from not having the right amount of change at a grocery store, or these things that would just feel like make functioning and living like a normal human being like impossible. Um, and that's with the help of supports and tools and skills, medication, um, and also the music. Um, like, something I didn't really mention through all this is I got to a place where, I've been rapping, I've been making music, I've been writing lyrics since I was an early teen, and um, you know, in the last couple years, I started feeling like literally, like, I was really like, why am I doing this? Like, nobody cared. Like, nobody's listening to this. Like, I don't really care about this that much. It doesn't really like give me passion anymore. Um, and then I just that's when as I started healing, I came back to this, how it all began, my imagination, my creative sense, my creative world that I made, like the ability to zone out. Um, and now my mind is a little bit of a scarier place than it used to be before all this. Like, before, I was able to just go into my mind and get lost in it. Now it's a little bit scarier, because of having depression and anxiety and all these things, and I'm able to overthink and set negative self-talk and really just destroy myself. But I'm also able to daydream. I'm able to. I've created, before I even realized that I was doing it. It was such a coping mechanism for me. Um, I had created this world called Ash and Dust. And it was originally for a novel I was writing back in, I had this idea since high school, but it slowly evolved and became this place where I could escape, and whenever I don't feel safe, I go there. And I'm able to slow down my breath, and I spend some time in that world, and it's safe because I've made it. You know, nothing is out of my control. Life can be out of control, but if you can think of yourself in a place where you are safe, that's a game changer. And that's what Ash and Dust is to me. It's my world where I feel safe. And and of course, Asher and Dustin are metaphors for um, basically alter egos of me, like my yin and yang, kind of. um, but they created this world um, for me, basically, to find help and healing and safety and just a place to be. Um, And so that's how I've kind of come back around to where I first started, with my imagination being my coping mechanism and a strength. You know, not like a, oh, you zone out and you don't pay attention in class, but like, no, this is a good thing, because this is how I cope. This is how I um, battle depression and anxiety. This world is my safe haven. And now the music I make, everything is connected. You know, since Secret Tree Fort, Diversion, Explore, everything I've created in the last 2-3 years is tied into this world. It happens within this world that I've made, and that's the reason I still make music. I don't really do it for the music itself. That's a part of it, but it's the narrative I'm writing. It's this, and that's what excites me. It's a story I'm telling. It's a world I'm visualizing and sharing with you guys through the music. And I hope that you find those themes and concepts and can experience a little bit of that world with me, because that's what's helped me through everything. And honestly, it's been one of my most healing things in my mental health journey. I wanted to make this video because I was like, I think it's time I share everything that I've been, like, everything, so that you can understand where I'm coming from, you can understand the music a little bit more, but also I hope that it gives you a little bit of hope. And, you know, if you are struggling, if you are going through it, if you are questioning, you know, if you're confused or frustrated even with your life right now, whatever is going on, I don't know. I mean, I'm here for you. There is help. You know, so if you feel hopeless, there is, you know, we are made, I strongly believe that we are made to heal, and my faith, has helped me a lot, like, even with questioning and still questioning so many things about religion and Christianity and my worldview and, you know, beliefs I grew up with. That's so, you know, gonna be a lifetime, but like, through that, God's still been there for me, and that's helped me. And whether or not you believe in that, or like, it doesn't even matter. I still believe that whoever you are, your mind, body, soul, your emotional, physical, mental, spiritual self is literally, it's meant to heal. It's meant to self-heal. It's like, you'll be surprised how much you can go through and come out of, and you look back and, like, you're like, how did I even get to where I am now? Like, I was thinking about ending it all 2 months ago, and now I'm feeling like I have a sense of purpose again. Like, things change really quick if you just allow yourself to you open yourself up to those sometimes difficult emotions. You get help, you get support, whatever that looks like for you. You can get out of things, and faster than you think. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, it still blows my mind that I'm here today, and I'm where I am today, that I'm as strong as I am today despite everything. And I'm just thankful. So that's all to say. I hope you feel encouraged by that. I hope you, I don't know if you've listened to this whole thing, but anyways, I'm surprised my camera hasn't even died yet. I don't know. This was nice. I've never done this before, so I'm glad I did this. I'll probably just upload it straight to YouTube. I don't think I have to cut anything out. Wow, that was a lot. I promise next video is going to be funnier, fun, happy. But yeah, that's my life. This is a part of my story, and now you know. Now you know. Yeah, this is me. Um, okay, cool. Good chat. I'm gonna see you some other time. Anyways, stay safe, friends. Hope you are getting through COVID and enjoying yourself and finding self care, peace, joy, laughs, all the good things in life. Um, and yeah, thank you for being there for me. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I've been rambling for 45 minutes. We're done. My butt's sore from sitting here for so long. Okay, bye.